I've received a new Arccaptain welder. They asked me several weeks ago if I would make a video on their welder. So they went ahead and they sent it to me for free. All they want in return is my honest review. So let's go. This is the actual shipping box that it was in. I wasn't sure what this was when I first got it, so I opened it up and then I realized, and I went ahead and I closed it all back up. So this part has been opened previously, but I wanted to show how it actually comes shipped. It's fairly well packed. I've got this in here. This is the actual welder itself. I've got some paper in here. This box did receive a little bit of damage. It was UPS after all, and UPS is really great at damaging. Here is the welder itself. The box said the shipping weight was only 20 pounds. I can attest this is very light. This is a 3-in-1. They want me to show the MIG. I will most likely do a video showing the stick as well, just because I have the stick stuff. I can't do TIG. This is a lift TIG, I believe. I don't know the difference. I don't TIG. Okay. Arccaptain wire. The brush. A little more down the side. Very nice looking torch. I like the loop that it's got so you can hang it. It's bent a little bit in. I wonder if that's shipping, because I would think that it would want to be straight out and have a larger loop. I don't know. I want to stop for a moment and just say thank you, thank you, thank you, Arccaptain, for making this ground lead not attached. You've got your normal plug in there. Most entry-level welding equipment, everything is fully attached, including your ground. It's typically too short. You can't do anything to extend it. They've already thought of that. So thank you so much. Here is your stick electrode. Again, same plug. Now it should be ready to lift. Oh my goodness. There's also a shoulder strap, a book, and one extra end. So this is a 110 welding machine. This is everything you get. I mean, this is as complete of a setup as you can really expect. Yeah, that's longer than 6 feet just by a hair. Oh, both sides flip up. This is 030 flux cord, of course. I like the color, even though that's not any consideration in welding equipment. My son really likes the whole black and red thing, so he'll really like this color. So this is their E71T-GS. I'll see how this welding wire is in their welding machine as well. So this is nice. Rather than doing like 400 turns, you push down, loosen up, about 1/4 of a turn, that lifts up. We want the wire feeding this way, so it goes directly in. So off the top of the spool, it goes into tubey thing. Yes, that's the technical term, tubey thing. Run this wire in until it hits that blue tube. A flat blade sometimes helps. I've messed up a wire feed welder by just sticking it in, starting it in this tube, and then just holding it, because it gets stuck somewhere in here, like if it's got a little bit of angle or something. Even though there's this little chamfer, it doesn't always feed in. There's a line on the roller just right there, and there's actually one down here. This roller you can flip. That line is your teeth. So this wire needs to be in those teeth so that when we close this, we ensure that the teeth are gripping that wire. We don't want it up or down or anything. We want it directly in those teeth. That sets the pressure. We are good to go. This is a piece of metal I've had sitting outside. I pulled off an old trailer. So the first thing you want to do with any piece of metal before you weld is make it nice and clean. This is not super clean. I didn't spend a long time. I want to kind of see how it does on not perfect surface. I've got some perfect metal sitting over there, but I want to test it on this. So I've cleaned this gouge right here. I've cleaned this spot right here. This angle iron is a 1/4 inch thick. This square tube is an 1/8 inch thick. And back over here on this side, I've knocked rust off and got it down to bare metal for my ground clamp. I flipped the machine on, set it for the wire thickness and MIG welding, and that's it. This knob adjusts for the thickness of this material. Let's make some sparks. Bring it up a little. It seems like it's sitting on top, not penetrating real deep. It's only 1/8 inch. I'm sure this would do sheet metal really well, which is what these are really good on, is real thin metals. I'm asking it to do quite a bit on 1/8 and then some quarter. I want to see the limits of these machines. Let me see if I can't get a nice wet bead in here. Better, looks like I got real good penetration. It's laying down good and flat. I like that. So 55 works really good for 1/8. Really good. Yeah, good penetration. Went a little slower that time. All right, now I want to move to quarter. So let's go to, we'll start with about 75. It's working perfectly. I've never laid a MIG bead that's this easy to lay. Let's continue filling this groove. You can even see where it's warmed that up. Let's go to 85. Let's see what 85 does. I'm incredibly happy at the performance of this machine. Like, I can't even exactly show you how happy I am. I have never had another machine that I can set up as easily as this that welds just as hot as this welds. Normally that's the thing you don't get with these machines. You don't get good hot welding. I wasn't going to do anything like this, but right here where the 1/8 inch is welded to this quarter, I'm going to see if I can't try to run a bead. I've cleaned this up a little bit. Again, this is not super clean, but do you hear this welding? So it's supposed to sound like sizzling bacon. And this is sounding like sizzling bacon. This one just out of the box is right. All right, here we go on something this machine should probably never do. I've got it on 85. It's too rusty. It's hit it. It was very rusty, so I had to do things the way I didn't really want to do it. We'll see if I can't continue this bead on down and see if I can't further weld this quarter to this 1/8. Anytime you're welding metals of different thicknesses, you want to concentrate more heat onto the thicker metal than on the thinner metal. I've tried this with stick and I blow through the thin stuff. I'm not that great of a welder. I actually have a project where I need to weld this exact same thing, because this actually came off the project that I need to weld this back on, and it's sitting idle because I can't do that. This could be the answer to my problems. I am absolutely blown away. All right, let's clean this up. This white stuff that you see, that's their flux. So it's flux cord. So the core of the welding wire itself has flux in it. So as you heat it up, the flux melts and actually covers the weld as it's very raw and in its infancy state before it solidifies. Once it solidifies, you can scrub the flux off. In any welding, you have to have either a shielding gas or some sort of a flux, so some hard flux that melts. Stick welding, the flux is on the outside. The flux is on the inside. And with shielded MIG welding, which this is not before. That's the larger MIGs that have the bottles and all that. They're a bit more inconvenient, but what they do is they blow gas. So this nozzle on them is to hold the gas and to actually direct it. This is for guys like me and you. This is for guys in their house, in their basement, in their garage, working on their next project, whatever. Normally these machines are underpowered. Normally this would not be possible. I'm absolutely blown away. It's nice and wet. You can see the tie-in. It tied into this quarter, it tied into the 1/8. Great job, Arccaptain. Great, great, great job. I don't know how you did it. This is awesome. So the settings are extremely simple on this. I set this button down here, which sets the welding mode. This is MIG, this is stick, this is TIG. I've done all mine in the MIG mode, obviously, because I'm MIG welding. This button up here sets your wire thickness. This is for 1.0, this is for 0.9, this is for 0.8, which is my wire that they sent with this. This ground lead, this is where it gets weird. The ground lead is in the positive side. The book tells you that some of them are electrode negative, some are electrode positive. You can switch from electrode negative to electrode positive just by which one you put here. But we're doing electrode negative because our ground is positive. This is an inverter welder, so this is DC. AC goes positive, negative, positive, negative. Here in the States, we're 60 hertz. Other countries are 50 hertz. Here's why that matters. If you're AC welding, then 60 times a second, your polarity is switching. Positive, negative, positive, negative. So basically what that means is the current is flowing from your electrode into the piece, which is how you want, because then it takes the metal with it. Then it'll flip backwards and begin sucking it back in. It's terrible. It leads for a lot of spatter. You notice this didn't have much. That's what I like. DC welding is much better for what I do. My stick welder is DC. This is DC. My other MIG is DC. It's so much better. When I started with the Harbor Freight wire feed welder, it was an AC. So it spattered all over the place. There is truly a difference between these welders. This is like $150. So the fact that this is $150, you can do MIG. Hot glue gun is basically what real welders call MIG. You can do stick and you can do TIG with this one machine. Here's what that means. That means you can grow with this machine. And if you buy a machine that you can grow with, right now you may not know how to weld, or you may be really terrible at it. And even the beads that you saw me lay, you may look and go, wow, that's amazing. I can guarantee you, if I send these beads to my welder buddy, he's gonna look and go, you did this wrong and you did that wrong and lots of other things. He's a professional at it, I'm an amateur. For you amateur guys, or even you professionals that just want a nice, easy to carry thing, and yes, it has a handle, just get the welder.